It's Reveille. Where to start? Chicagoland and Illinois right now are a mess. Crime is through the roof with 107 shot and 17 killed in Chicago last week alone. Economically, Illinois has the highest unemployment rate in the Midwest still and the worst balance sheet in the nation. And then there's schools where Illinois has embraced the weird and nonsensical. Children going to summer school are still wearing masks. The Democrats passed legislation requiring boy bathrooms to have free tampons in them. Black students are taught they're oppressed and white students that they're oppressors as critical race theory is infused into the curriculum. It's gone from insane to immoral. Sitting on the governor's desk is a bill that would mandate comprehensive sex ed aligned with the national sex education standards in kindergarten through 12th grade in public schools that teach any personal health, safety, or sex education classes. This isn't your standard 5th grade talk about puberty. The national sex education standards are not the product of some government study committee. They were written by woke factions of the far left. If the governor signs this bill, children will be required to know the so-called spectrum of genders by 2nd grade, instructed on masturbation by the end of 5th grade, and taught about anal and oral sex by the end of 8th grade. That's what the standards require. Superintendents and school boards across this state have failed our children. They could have stopped this bill, and they refuse to get involved. Only when it comes to their money do they seem to organize to get their way. If ever a wake-up call was needed in Illinois, it's now. Midwestern values here anymore? No. All Illinoisans and parents especially need to storm their school boards over the summer and demand an end to the nonsense. And call the governor's office and tell him to veto SB 818. I'm Jeannie Ives. Visit breakthrough-ideas.com and download our memo about this bill with action you can take to stop it. Breakthrough-ideas.com.
When you want the ability to adjust your loan options in real time, Rocket can.
7:39. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time and Jim.
Northbound I-55 traffic is packed solid. Weber to Joliet Road near the Veterans Memorial Tollway. There's a crash there blocking the right lane. And the inbound Stevenson from 355 to Lakeshore Drive is now 50 wet minutes. Inbound Kennedy, 40 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 18 from Montrose, 15 in the Express. Outbound 37 minutes downtown to the airport. The Eisenhower runs 46 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 41. Ryan, 21 minutes, 95th to downtown. Inbound Bishop Ford to the 130th. There's a crash. Both shoulders are blocked. It's nearly an hour, 80-94 to the merge. Northbound Tri-State still packed from past Willow to Sanders after a crash. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Cloudy, humid, shower and a thunderstorm. Watch for some flooding in low-lying areas. High 82. Thunderstorms hang around for the evening. Cloudy, humid, low 71. 73 at O'Hare. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
From the Matrix Home Solutions Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey.
Mike Madigan runs the Democratic House floor for 30-plus years running. He's promising this and he's stealing that. Where can you get that kind of money? He's using your house like his own piggy bank. You ought to know by now. You can pay off your house here in Illinois, but you can never keep up with the taxes. Oh, how it's always been the plan to have a taxpayer pay, no doubt. Not a matter of if anymore, but when. You're moving out. I said, when you're moving out.
Dan and Amy, it's time for our weekly discussion about Illinois and all things policy and politics related. Ted Dabrowski, president of Wirepoint.org, joins us. Ted.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning.
Ted, did you hear the latest, Ted?
Which one is this one?
With Governor Pritzker yesterday walking out during his press conference with a mask on,
with a
his
mask.
staff. And basically, I think spreading fear about the Delta.
Around the world and here in Illinois, this virus is very much present, infecting people, hospitalizing some, and tragically killing others every day. Already the Delta variant that sent Israel back into mitigation is a growing presence in Illinois. We expect it to dominate our cases statewide by the fall. The lessons here at home and across the world are a harbinger of what could happen here.
Spreading fear says that, there's 80 cases, but 70 of the Delta variant are in Chicago, and not one of those persons is hospitalized. But I think that he's trying to scare parents to getting them vaccinated to help President Biden with his, July 4th deadline of 70% of Americans vaccinated. What do you think?
Well, I think he's showing leadership, is what he'll say. He's showing the people of Illinois how to move forward. I think it's horrible. I'm looking at the statistics now. Wirepoint, we publish the daily data every day, and you can see that cases have collapsed to there's less than 400 cases now, 200 cases, 270. Deaths have collapsed to the single digits. Hospitalizations have collapsed. Everything's collapsed, and what's up are we have 89% of those over the age of 65 vaccinated. So, we're taking care of the people that need to be taken care of. I think he's fear-mongering, and it continues. It's sadly, it's just a misinformation platform that I think we're seeing on finances, on COVID, on crime. It's the same thing over and over again.
The Center for Economic and Policy Research put out a new paper on the impact of the lockdowns on education, employment, and training. Their so-called NET scores, NEET, not in education, employment, or training. The net rate for all 20 to 24-year-olds increased from 14.7% to 18.3% between last year and this year. For black young people, the percentage grew from 20.9 to 24.8. For Hispanics, it went from 16.2 to 19.7. So you're talking about basically 1/4 of black young people, 20 to 24, 1/5 of black Latino people, 20 to 24, who are not in education, employment, or training. That is not a good situation for Illinois or America.
No, it's horrible. But Dan, I don't know how much of that is COVID related or not. But these statistics, especially for the blacks in Chicago, we had 50% of those. I think it was under the age of 24. Those 16 to 24, 50% were not in school or working. And so you can only imagine that COVID has just made that significantly worse. But that was our situation before we had the craziness. And now with the lockdowns, the shutdowns, who's lost out most. It's the minorities and those who have the least opportunity.
That's exactly, and that's exactly what that paper finds. But it's just another thing, too, and it's not even a question of, we were sacrificing the young for the old and they can recover. There was no sacrificing anybody for anybody. It's the balancing, so the vulnerable with respect to sequestration and or vaccination versus the less vulnerable, which we've known for a long time. You make sort of a textured protocol for how you address the virus based on vulnerability, but we still are resistant to do that. Talk about something that's resistant, talking about something that mutates. We're still resistant, and that is mutating here as we stand in nearing July 4th, more than, almost a year and a half later.
Yeah, I do think this time around, as you guys mentioned before the break, I think the battle's going to heat up. I'm seeing a lot of activity about people, ticked off about the masks. They don't want masks at all, and it's going to have to be quite a push by the government to make that happen. I think the pushback's going to be huge. Just as something that I think parents should do, I FOIA'd New Trier High School, which is where my son goes to school. I FOIA'd for how many of the teachers and administrators had been vaccinated, and nicely they gave me back a FOIA. 89% of them are vaccinated, and we still have a couple months before we start school, so they can get that number higher. They're protected. We don't need masks. The adults are protected outside at home. We don't need masks. Wow. And that's the bottom line.
Yeah, but the teachers here at C2, they first they demanded 1 shot, and then we'll go back after 1 shot. Then they demanded 2 shots, so we'll go back after 2 shots. Then they demanded our kids get vaccinated before they go back. And I heard from a teacher from Lane Tech on Sunday who told me, Amy, we are not going back to 5 days a week, and we're doing remote learning in the fall. And she's also gotten in with the union. So she was preparing me very sternly with the facts. And I mean, I don't think parents are going to take it again this time around. And I think that we're going to have to do something, don't you?
They won't take it. And I think you're already seeing the breakdown on the left versus left. And, you're seeing that in the crime right now, how they're fighting between the two sides of how to handle criminals. You're going to see the same thing in education because it won't hold up. And I think there's enough newspapers, and New York Times and others, who will shun that. So I think we're in good shape. But that means we have to continue to message. We have to continue to do the FOIAs to find out the truth, get the information out. We have to be repetitive because the other side's repetitive as we can see. And with Pritzker coming out with a mask, that's him using his bully pulpit to send out his message of what he wants to do.
Well, that's virtue signaling to the union, saying, I've got you, man, because they're not going back without masks. Are you kidding me? We're never going to unmask our kids at CPS.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree with what you said, Ted, about FOIAing and getting the truth out there. But in terms of what Chicago public school parents will take, they'll take it. They'll take anything. They will take anything the union says. I know there should be no confusion about what Chicago public school parents will take. They will take anything.
Dan, I agree with you. I think the leadership's going to have to come from the suburbs where the fights will be had, and then hopefully that spills over to CPS because we've seen that the parents in Chicago have taken basically everything and have refused to fight so far.
Your colleague there at Wirepoint, Mark Lennon, had a good write-up about actually just how much money is sloshing around just Illinois as we're trying to get a handle on all of the funny money that was printed and all of the places that it has been distributed. And we're not talking about $13 billion or so. We're talking about $138 billion in Illinois.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's right. So, the whole thing has been, the federal government's handing out money, and the state government got whatever it is, $8 billion. Total state and local, there's another, 13-something. So there's a lot of money flowing around, but there was a good piece by Fitch. This is a good piece. I shouldn't say that. There's a piece by Fitch praising Illinois for improving its finances and getting the economy back under control. And Pritzker and legislature did the right things on the budget. And within that, they had something about this COVID tracker. And so we went into that, and luckily this group, bipartisan group, tracks how much money is going all over the country for which of the rescue plans. To what groups, and when you add up what went to the private sector and the public sector, and you're talking about all the stimulus checks and all that, it totals over $130 billion. It's a phenomenal amount, and it's no wonder that Illinois was able to recover its income, state income taxes, sales taxes. There's so much money sloshing around that Illinois had to do better. It's surprising we didn't do even better than that, though.
According to the BEA, the Bureau of Economic Analysis, personal income in Illinois for the state's most recently reported quarter ending in March is 17% over pre-pandemic highs. 17% over pre-pandemic highs, personal income in Illinois. So, you were in banking before you decided to go on this quixotic adventure of trying to improve public policy in Illinois.
And God bless you for doing it.
And I mean, so how does that end, Illinois being a microcosm for the country?
Well, first of all, you have no idea what the markets are right now. Nobody knows what incomes really are, what the economy really looks like. A bunch of funny money. We're going to have to pay it back at some point. Is it going to be through inflation? Is it going to be through a crash, stagflation? We have no idea because we've never, ever done anything like this before in our world where we print trillions of dollars and then see what happens. With a whole bunch of people in D.C. saying it doesn't matter, we can print money as much as we want. We're okay. We don't know how it ends. We've seen how a lot of countries end up after they make messes, but not the U.S.
I mean, that's just just for emphasis, you're talking about like median household income in Illinois, round numbers, $60,000, up 17%. Yeah, everybody just got like 15. Everybody making 60 got $15,000 basically over the last year.
Tax free.
I mean, it's just that and that you think you can live in that world without consequence, in addition to more than replenishing the coffers of every state and local government in the country. You think you can just do that without consequence? Then why don't we just do that, in perpetuity?
Every year.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of them want to say they think we can. They're calling it basic income. We just keep handing this money out. This was a precursor to what basic income looks like. Let's just give money to people. And anybody who has any sense knows how impractical and foolhardy that is.
Inflation, a crash, all of the above.
It's coming. It's already here.
Find an enclave.
Gas is going to be $5 a gallon soon.
I need to get to the Isle of Man before it's full up. I think. Ted Dabrowski, President of Wirepoints, wirepoints.org. Ted, thanks as always.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, and he joined us, I should say, on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion